The topic of name, image, and likeness in the world of college athletics has been up for some debate for some time. Just this week, NCAA leadership answered questions from the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation in D.C. Here in Nebraska, a bill is being discussed which would allow college athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. Reporter Phil Bergman dove into the bill and what it means for college student athletes in Nebraska.
On a typical Saturday in Lincoln, you can find the Nebraska Huskers running out of the tunnel. But under current laws, an academic scholarship is the only payment these athletes can receive.
Every other college student that goes to universities and colleges in Nebraska is allowed to make money off of their talent, their gifts, and their name, image, and likeness. There's nobody else in Nebraska who's barred from being compensated for their talent except student athletes.
State Senator Megan Hunt introduced Legislative Bill 962, which would allow student athletes in Nebraska to receive compensation for their name, image, and likeness.
For most of these athletes, college is really the best time that they have to earn money for their talent. Less than 2% of athletes go pro, and that number is even smaller for female athletes.
Currently, the NCAA bans student athletes from receiving compensation for their name, image, and likeness, meaning they can't get payments for things such as autographs, sponsorships, or royalties from video games.
They're not allowed to go home and be compensated for coaching a soccer camp at their junior high or high school. They can't give private lessons in the off season. They can't post a sponsored Instagram post or Twitter. They can't monetize a YouTube channel.
The bills are well intended and they are pointing at a larger problem, which is all the money that's in college sports. They're also, although well intended, I think not well informed.
Joe Patuto is a law professor at UNL and is one of the nation's top legal scholars on name, image, and likeness.
My own view is we need to cut bait one way or the other. Either say we're in the right place because of all the negative consequences, or say we're going to open it up, but that's the world we're going to be in.
And while the name, image, and likeness conversation is focused on college athletes, Olympic hopefuls like those competing here at the U.S. Olympic swim trials in Omaha could be the ones that benefit the most from this legislation.
These athletes deserve it. It's not going to take it over the top, but when it's a full-time job to dedicate your life to a sport, yeah, I think it would be tremendous benefit.
Currently, California is the only state to pass legislation. Professor Patuto believes this law will ultimately need to be decided in our nation's capital.
If we're going to go in this area at all, it has to be national legislation. You cannot do it at a state level.
Reporting in Omaha, Phil Bergman, 3 News Now.
On Thursday, Senator Hunt's bill made it out of committee and onto the floor. If passed, the bill would go into effect in 2023.